Well, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. I have been very much looking forward to Rings of Power season 2. I just rewatched season 1 to prepare for season 2. And I don't know about you, but every time I rewatch a show, I fall more and more in love with it. And this has been happening lately with Rings of Power because I just rewatched that show. The other show I've been doing a rewatch is House of the Dragon, and there's things that I miss. Number one, and it just gets better and better. I don't even know. And maybe it's because I am very much online and I see the negativity a lot from for shows for both these shows really, since we're talking about these shows, but especially for Rings of Power. And maybe when I went to watch Rings of Power, I had some of those filters kind of in my head as I was watching it. And I have to say, when the dust settles, it's nice to kind of take a break and go back and rewatch a series that you've watched already, and really kind of without all of those filters, negative filters, just watch the show like a virgin, I guess is the word. Once you get exposed to somebody's negative review or comment about a show, it's hard to kind of, I perhaps go into when I go into watching the show, it kind of stays with me a little bit. But I gotta say, rewatching season 1 of Rings of Power was, I was just like, it's such a great setup season. I don't understand the negativity, and it's not just Rings of Power. It's there's other shows that I see this where people are just upset because for whatever reason, and I see what's happening. It's a new show. You're introducing characters. You're setting things up in the story, and that takes time. Sometimes shows do this really well, and sometimes they don't. I try not to judge so harshly because it's the first season. You're trying to find your footing. You're trying to find your character's voice. You're trying to find even like some of the aesthetics of things, and I feel like a lot of that was happening for Rings of Power season 1. And just got back. I went to see a screening of it in the theaters, which, by the way, I think that shows like Rings of Power and House of the Dragon should definitely be shown in theaters. I don't understand why we don't do more of that, but whatever. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We did not actually get to see episode 3, but regardless, it was phenomenal. I can't wait for this season. I'm really really excited. The Everything that was so great about episode 1 and 2 was so great because of the setup in season 1. And so I'm excited to be talking about the show and getting into some of the nitty gritty of these characters, the idea of free will. Every day when we wake up, we choose good or we choose bad. And there's certainly that in the story, especially with Sauron and his origins and how he came to be. And I feel like we're going to get maybe more of a glimpse of what makes him tick. Like, what does he care about? Why is he the way that he is? I don't want to spoil it because I know that people are still watching it, but it was fantastic to sit there and watch this in the big screen, and as really as it should be watched. You hear about how much dollars go into these episodes, and it's kind of insane, if I'm being honest, to think you're spending, you know, whatever the number is. I think it's like 58 million per episode. And then you watch it and then you go, I see where the money went. And you can't say that about many shows. And with this show, you can. And so I'm happy that you're here. I hope that you stick around. Well, I'm not getting deeply into any storylines or anything like that, but I'll do that more in a later video. But I'm happy to be back. It was a great break. Just trying to get my footing on a project that I'm working on, writing a a screenplay. And so thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for visiting the channel. I hope you enjoy the next several weeks because we will be talking about Rings of Power. Talk to you later.